Now we're going to talk about setting up the quote board. Getting back to the workspace that we created a few minutes ago, we're going to focus on the quote board. Obviously, the quote board can be used for monitoring trades that you want to participate in, trades that you're currently in, or just to keep an eye on market correlations. For example, if you're trading the E-mini S&P, you may want to know what crude oil is doing. By default, the platform will show you multiple quotes in various markets. Most traders probably aren't trading some of these markets, so I recommend that you wipe it out and start from scratch. And if that's how you want to do it, you'll notice that this button here will allow you to remove all markets. And I'm going to go ahead and hit yes, and we'll start over. To add a market to the quote board, you simply click on the green button, and a contract lookup page will come up. Now you'll notice you can filter what you'd like to view, whether it's all futures, options, strategies. I generally just keep all selected so that it's easy to find everything I need. For example, if you wanted to trade corn, you might know the symbol is ZC, Z as in zebra, C as in C for corn. And if you just start typing in the symbol, it'll give you some choices between contract months. In this case, we're going to go ahead and choose December and hit OK. And it'll add that to our quote board. If you don't know the symbol, there's still a good chance you'll be able to find it in the platform. For example, if we wanted to enter wheat, we could just start typing in the word wheat. And it'll give us several months to choose from. You'll notice once I select it, this is highlighted, and it actually gives us the contract specs over here. I hit OK, and it adds it to our quote board. Let's do one more. Let's say you wanted to trade the E-mini S&P for December. Again, we hit enter, it's selected, we see that our contract details are here, and we hit OK. If you decide that you want to rearrange your symbols after you get them entered into your quote board, there's a few things you could do. If you click on a row, you'll notice that we can choose these move up or move down arrows to move it, or you can click on it and simply drag it. If you wanted to enter a blank line to separate different market groups, for example, you want the energies separate from the grains, so on and so forth, you can click on this button. And it'll do just that. You'll notice it entered a blank line. And I can drag a contract beneath it. If you're like me and you have a hard time seeing small print, you can change the font in the quote board by clicking the letter A and choosing the size or the font. A helpful feature that most traders overlook is the ability to choose which data you want to see. You can choose the columns that are displayed by right-clicking over the columns, go to Column Setup, and you'll notice that all the visible columns are on the right, all the available columns that are not necessarily visible yet are on the left, and you can add them by simply clicking on them and choosing Add, or you can take them away by clicking on the right side and choosing Remove. You can also move them up or down. So for example, if you want the ask before the bid, you would just choose Move Up or move down to get it in the place that you want it to be. Something that I recommend all beginning traders put into their quote board is the description. If you click on description and choose Add, you'll notice it by default goes to the bottom, but you can move that up. And what the description does is it gives you the name of the contract. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the symbols, you can use description as well as symbols to identify which market you're looking at. So I'm going to hit OK. And you'll notice that it enters a description column. So for those that don't know, the E-mini S&P is ES. There's the description. And that makes life a little bit easier. You can see if you do have a lot of data in the quote board, you may not be able to see it all in one view. You can simply scroll over. If you do want to see everything in one view, you can always reduce the font, or you could reduce the items that you're viewing. For example, most traders aren't interested in the preliminary settlement price, that sort of thing. Some traders are extremely well organized and want the ability to separate markets by tabs or quote boards. So in other words, they may want to have a completely separate quote board for their energy futures and their grain futures and so on and so forth. So if that's you, go to Quotes and Charts, click on New Quote Board, and you'll notice that it adds a tab. So you could have a tab for one set of markets and a tab for another set of markets. I recommend that traders have any product that they're interested in trading in their quote board. And the reason being, once you have it in your quote board, it'll be easy to either pull up a chart or trade the contract. For example, If I wanted to trade December corn, I could simply click on it, and you'll notice that December corn populates into the order entry window. I can do the same thing with the E-mini S&P. If I click on it, it populates my order. I can also right-click on the contract, and I'll have the ability to pull up a DOM panel or pull up a chart. Again, if I right-click, I can pull up a DOM panel and trade from a DOM. We're going to pull up a quote on the December E-mini S&P 2200 call. Now, I've been doing this long enough to just know what the symbol is. As you get a little more experience, you will as well. I will also, in a later segment, show you how to find the symbol on your own. With that said, you'll notice that I have this order ticket populated to place an order on the December E-mini S&P 2200 call. Now, I'm going to click this button that says Add to Quotes, and what that does is it actually adds it to our quote board. So not only can we see the current bid and ask of this particular option, but we can easily trade it. So let's say tomorrow we're interested in putting an order in on that particular option. All we have to do is click on it. We have the bid ask, we click on it, and now we can proceed to place our order.